Episode of Quiet Places. I'm at Pickett's Mill Historic Battlefield site. So this was the site of a Civil War battle, and it preceded the Battle of Atlanta in 1864, was actually a victory for the Confederacy, but their momentum wouldn't last long, as we know. And now this is like a big park, and there's hiking trails here. There's some kind of visitor center. Don't know much about it. I just had some time today, so I'm gonna check it out. Okay, everybody, I'm here at Pickett's Mill, and right here on the grounds, just took a short little walk to a 1850s log cabin. So from what I was told, this log cabin was not here originally. It was brought from somewhere else, but this is typical of what people would have lived in this area around the time of the Civil War. Can't go in there today. It is open some days, but these are the original walls. As you can see, no concrete foundation, just seems to be sitting on those rocks. I have a door here, not like the doors we have today. I believe this is called a battened door. Kind of rough looking. I can see some similarities to the construction in the Etowah mounds where the Cherokees lived, with this like kind of mortar here. You can see where the logs join up. So, Paulding County, that's where we are located. This is where you might have lived years ago. You can see the shingle roof, fireplace, got an outhouse in the back, a couple other little things. Maybe you might would have cooked out here. Some firewood, and I guess you have a second floor up there. That's about it. Okay, everyone, so I'm back, and I'm here at Pickett's Mill Battlefield State Historic Site in Dallas, Georgia, and I'm actually on one of the trails right now. There's several trails here you can see on this little map that's available right outside the visitor center, and on the back it explains these different trails, and I've taken one of them, and as you can see, this is a wheat field. And what they told me at the visitor center is that they really try to preserve the roads here, or paths, as they were at the time of the Civil War. So this trail here, so this from what I'm reading here in the back of the map, this was an actual road at that time, and so right next to the wheat field. So if you walk down this, you can imagine what it was like to travel at this time. Remember, there were no cars, no pavement, and even now it's a little muddy. Kind of nice on a day like today, at least. Okay, we'll walk and talk more. So, what are we looking at here? You may think this is just a mound of dirt, or several mounds of dirt, but from what I was just reading on the little informational sign, this is where the Union soldiers dug for engaging with the Confederates in artillery battles. So, like I mentioned, this is a battlefield site. There was a lot that was going on here during the Civil War, and I'll just take a minute to talk about that. So, the Confederacy, this is obviously deep in the Confederacy. General Grant was commanding the Union soldiers, and he came up with a plan, and they were, I'm not a professional historian, so correct me if I'm wrong. The plan was that the Confederacy was going to be defeated in two places, in Virginia and here in Georgia. So another general, Sherman, he was down here in Georgia trying to get to Atlanta. And this was one of the places that his soldiers were fighting through. But they encountered a lot of resistance here. It seems like more than they thought originally. They made their way from Dalton near the Tennessee border down here, which is still northwest Georgia. And, you know, as you can see, it's kind of hilly here. There weren't a lot of people. It's kind of a difficult place for them. And they got, you know, had a lot of difficulty here. Lost a lot of soldiers, much more than the Confederacy. But eventually they did make their way to Atlanta. And that's where... in Atlanta, they were defeated. The let me get that straight. The Confederate, various trails in here. This is a historic site, but there's good trails here. I mean, it's not gonna probably take you a whole day. Like, you're not gonna go like backpacking here or anything like that. But you know what? This is one of these places that it's like right in kind of like a built-up area, like a suburban area. A lot of development here, and it's really a good option if you want to go. Look at this. Like, I'm pretty far out, you know. It's very quiet here. There's a lot of different trails, and there's a ravine down there. This one right here with the orange blaze is the Brand House Trail. This is pretty much the farthest out you can go. So it's definitely worth it. I mean, I haven't seen a person on this trail in a while. I'm on a weekday right now. There's probably more people here on the weekend. Some info about the trail itself. I saw that they don't allow bike riding here. And I think it is free to hike here on the weekend. I think up through Monday. But then other parts of the week, you do have to pay a $3.50 fee. Not bad. I did pay that fee today. But I think it's worth it if you can get over here. All right. So I'm on the Brand House Trail here at Pickett's Mill. That's this one. There in orange, so it's the one furthest out across this little stream. So I mean, check this out. I mean, this thing is no joke. It's kind of not an easy hike, not like just a walk. Yeah, this has been much more than I expected, but a good workout. Okay, so right here in front of me is the former location of the Brand house. So there was a family that lived here with the last name Brand, and they lived right here. And this was the road in front of their house, pretty much, from what I understand. Brand family. So the trail here was part of the wagon road system that led to a mill. I mean, that's kind of crazy that, like, this is where people lived and this was the road in front of them, but okay, you get an idea of what it was like. And the archaeological dig showed that it was a cabin that probably looked like this and had one room. And this family fled before the Union soldiers and moved south of Atlanta and never returned. Okay, so back from the Pickett's Mill trails. I really enjoyed it. It was so much more hiking and so much more elevation and strenuous than I thought it would be. It's great for a day hike, an afternoon. Didn't take me that long either. And I was in the visitor center, and they were actually telling me that beyond the Civil War and during the Prohibition times, that there were a lot of moonshiners out here. And beyond the trail, you can actually still find where they would make the moonshine. From what they were telling me, these guys were mobile, like they had carts with the stills on them. It sounds like there was a lot of crazy things going on out here with that. And they were actually working from Chicago. That was who employed them, or who they were in some way related to for this operation. So that was some nice little tidbit there. So Pickett's Mill, recommended for an afternoon. It's not no great scenery, no mountain vistas or anything like that, but for fitness, definitely recommend it. If you're into this kind of like obscure history where there was a battle out here, not a great battle, but it preceded the Battle of Atlanta. So check it out for that too.